welcome back to the Angry Buddha Official. Turn your volume down because I might yell some more, and I got a Snuff review for you. So, if you need a ride, I got your ride right here. A ride to South Africa. Taxi South African Snuff. Now I'm going to calm down a little bit because I'm really not that hyped up. Anyways, so we have a review for you. This is known as Taxi Red. And if you can read backwards, which most of you probably can't because you're probably as dumb as I am if you're watching this channel. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, Taxi Snuff. So, you can find this, at least, you can find this at Mr. Snuff. I'm not sure if it's on Toke. You can find this on Mr. Snuff, and there's also another website. You can just go ahead. I think it might even be a little cheaper to grab it from this website. I know you can get like whole rolls of it, and they just sell Taxi. I think that's all they sell, and NTSU Black. We'll get to that. Also, I'll do a little more research before I do the Black review because Taxi Line is basically the same thing, but NTSU has NTSU instead on it. I don't know if they took over. I don't know how that works and why that is. Maybe someone in the comments can let us know if they already know, and if they don't, well, I'll find out sooner. We're gonna do the red first, then we'll do black, and then eventually we'll do Taxi Green. I believe there's also a blue. There might be another color as well, but I'm not totally sure. So anyways, it is Monday, the 7th of October. It's 4:22. I'm out of weed, so shame on me. And then it's about 91 degrees outside here in Texas. Now let's crack this over and see what we got. I say let's crack this over. Let's crack it open. Now, I have already partaken in this. I've already partaken in the black. I have not partaken in the green, so I'll probably open that one fresh on camera. But this stuff is still fresh. Matter of fact, it smells so fresh, it still smells like I just opened it. With a lot of snuffs, when you first open a fresh one, at least like for example in SG or Samuel Gawith Kindle snuffs, when you open it, a lot of times there's still a big scent of ammonia, and really that's just a sign of freshness. Or maybe not a sign of freshness. The ammonia naturally creates itself from the alkalizing process in your snuff. So when you add the salt, and I'm assuming also when you add the sodium or potassium carbonate, that creates that somehow. I don't know the full science, but I do know that a lot of times when you open a fresh snuff, sometimes you have to air it out a little bit from the ammonia because it's so strong you can't smell it. Which with this one, I did smell like so much ammonia it was hard to get to it. And after it settled down, of course I've been keeping it fresh, so there's still some in there. I could smell the scent a little bit better. Also, you do smell the ammonia in the nose, but you do get the scent of the snuff as well. But smelling it outside or from inside the tin and not putting it in my nose, I got a strong whiff of ammonia plus the scent after. Now it's toned down, so I'm still getting ammonia, but here we go, we're getting started. After that, you get barnyard. Now, let's talk about the terminology of barnyard. I've heard barnyard for South African snuffs and certain snuffs that have a slight animal manure smell. However, I've only gotten manure smells from Indian snuffs, or at least one specifically, and maybe another one too, but that one wasn't as bad. So I'm going to use the terminology of barnyard for different purposes. I'm never going to, unless I actually smell it, I'm never going to say barnyard or describe barnyard for an Indian stuff. I'm not saying that's the proper way to describe it anyways, but I have heard actually people say barnyard describing Indian snuffs when they're describing the naturals. I don't get that. When I get their barnyard or whatever, I do get manure, but it's not a good way. If I do get any manure in here at all, which I don't, it doesn't really smell like cow shit, and we're just gonna go ahead and be blunt about it. That doesn't really, unless it's fresh, I guess. Even then, when it's dry and shit, it doesn't really smell like manure or poop smell. But anyways, I get barnyard from this. When I think of barnyard, I think of hay, dead grass, soil, earthy, maybe the actual inside of a barn, so hay, dirt, sand, dust. You just kind of get the smell of that. Maybe not dust per se, but dust from like the earth, not like I don't know, just built up fabric dust and shit that you get in like your house or anything like that. So you get barnyard or farmyard. You could say farm. Here in the States, I guess we would say maybe like farm. It smells like, you know, inside of a barn, but in a good way. There is also a natural tobacco scent, and maybe even like I wouldn't say there's any leather, but you're kind of getting into those snuffs that have that scent. I don't really get, maybe there's a subtle leather in there. We're gonna take a pinch. Yes, this stuff is also a mid to dark mid brown color. It's basically what you see, but maybe a little darker on camera. Maybe about that light in the actual sunlight when I'm looking at it. It's very moist. It's still moist. It was super moist when I got it. The grind is coarse. It's probably one of the coarsest snuffs I've ever seen. But when I say coarse, this is different from a rapé coarse. Rapés are coarse and kind of a mixed grind, and they have little boulders in here. There's no boulders in here at all, but it's coarse because the grind is actually, you know, it just hasn't been sieved a whole lot. So I would say maybe grainy is the texture, but it's still very soft and moist. So it's easy, and it's very easy to sniff. They say this is super strong, or strong. The red one is the strong one, and it's not crazy strong. But I would definitely say as strong as a nice rapé, or maybe a little stronger. It is strong, but for me, it's personally not. But for beginner use, easy to take. But if you're not used to nicotine, could be tough. So we're gonna take a pinch. I'll see it's pretty thick here on all sides, so I got quite a bit I'm pushing down on. I'm not really into the whole, I know a lot of people like to warm up their snuff for scent. For me, maybe it's like an OCD thing, or maybe I psych myself out. Sometimes that works. For me, it doesn't really, I don't want it to be warm. I like it wet and moist, and when that moisture hits your nose, plus the nicotine kind of even makes a little cold sensation around the rim of your nostrils, and not because it's mentholated, just that's what experience I get. We're 7 minutes into this review and I haven't taken a pinch, so here I go. Definitely have to pinch a little harder on this, or not pinch a little harder, sniff a little harder on this, but you don't have to go crazy. You still don't want to snort it up there, but harder sniffs. It's harder than a flower, harder than your high dry toast, which you'll see a lot here. Or fine grinds and dusty snuffs. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's been well. I've noticed I got some more subscribers since the last time I talked about people subscribing and not subscribing, and kind of on and off when we were just getting to the 30 mark. Now we're at 341, so very impressive. Also, very awesome. Thank y'all so much, and any newcomers that have subscribed. Thank y'all so much for subscribing, and I hope you're enjoying the reviews. Now, we're gonna wait for this to moisten up a little bit, and while we let that moist, we'll take another pinch real quick. Another big one here, just to kind of get things going. I'm gonna squeeze my nostrils together, also kind of start the filtering process in my nose, so that it gets nice and moist in there, and then we'll get to it. Let's turn up these little no copyright Americana, kind of country blues, country blues. It's no copyright. So, and I'm getting this off of YouTube, Free Sound Music. So check them out, subscribe. Now, because it's so coarse, not coarse enough for me, I get a huge drip. I don't get it immediately, it doesn't shoot back to my throat, but after it starts to moisten up, I like to sniff pretty hard and get it to go down. I enjoy the drip. Not everybody likes the drip. Personally, drip's always good to me, so I don't really talk too much about the drips. If I do say you get it, I don't usually describe how bad it is, because to me, it's never really bad. Now, in the nose with the scent, you kind of still pretty much get what you're getting in here, like I said before. The barnyard smell is a little bit, that ammonia goes away, at least now. The ammonia was gone right after the first sniff, since I've had it opened already for a while. And you kind of just get that country outside, kind of rural area kind of smell. let's see there. Anyways, it smells very pleasant. It's very comforting. If you like natural tobacco smells, that's kind of what I'm getting. It's just a natural snuff. I used to be worried, a lot of people talking about taxis that are saying it's too coarse and blah, blah, blah. And that might be so if you don't like that. But I can see myself buying more of Taxi. For me, as a natural lover, and y'all know that I like my snuffs fine and dry, I could say, even though this is a coarse snuff, like my rapes, I could say stocked up on this. Matter of fact, I probably will in the future buy a roll of this just to have a bunch of extra Taxis. Also, the tins are really cool. They're plastic. Now, I don't know if I sat on this weird, kind of got this line. I don't got a crack. You can see where the plastic kind of bent. It caused a little friction kind of thing going on here. So who knows if that'll crack in the future or not, but I'll just be more careful. Also, I really love the plastic seal. It's really nice and convenient. I can see myself using this for other tins in the future if I want to. I just love the flex kind of pull off. It's really easy to not spill anything. And I said easy to not spill it. So basically, that barnyard smell kind of sticks around. Kind of not for super long. Maybe if I went outside. My room seems like every house me and my wife move into, we always get the stuffiest room in the house, but that's okay. So it's a little bit kind of harder for me to smell. Nicotine, really there's not a whole lot of burn going on. See, and with coarser snuffs, I also want to mention that sometimes the coarse snuff might be a stronger snuff, but maybe you don't get that pleasurable burn going in. But when you swallow it, or you swallow the drip, like I said, not everybody likes that, but I think you're missing out on the nicotine when you just don't swallow your drip. I'm not saying you have to, and it might be gross to some, but for me, when I sniff it, I get my nicotine, and it's supposed to dissolve here, but you're not gonna get it all. It's something we're insulflating, so, I mean, some of it's gonna go down into our saliva and with our mucous membranes and all that. It's gonna go down there, and we're gonna swallow it anyway. Sometimes I think you're missing out. So when I swallow the drip, sometimes I can tell I'm getting more nicotine, kind of adds to that, and my face gets a little tingly. Now that the coarse snuff has been sitting in here for a while, it's starting to filter, and I'm starting to feel it in the face and feeling that nicotine. So it's really nice. I definitely give this a 10 out of 10 snuff. It's really not too much more to say about it, but I definitely highly recommend this is worth a shot and trying if you can deal with coarse. If you can't deal with coarse, then you're not going to want to try it. Definitely one of the coarser snuffs. So like I said, you have to snort. You have to sniff, not snort, but sniff a little bit more harder than you normally would. But this is a great snuff. Pretty simple. And also I've heard that if you make your own, there's some recipes out there that are really easy to follow to make this homemade snuff. It's one of the harder ones to make. So that's really it for this review. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like this review, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share. That like changes so much for everybody's channel, and any channel that you like on YouTube, please leave them a like too, because it's going to help their channel get seen before the next guy. Or it might just be up there in your feed. So that's our goal. Anyways, thank y'all so much. Maybe we can get up to 400 subscribers here sooner than we think. I have another order on the way. I told y'all that I would have more snuff, and I have 20 more tins that are on their way. And so from here on out, I'm probably going to just order about 20. I'm gonna keep it at that limit until we've basically knocked out all of the Mr. Snuffs. At least as many as I think there are on there. And that's what we're doing here. And in the future, we'll move on. I'm not going in order with every single line and every single series, but for the most part, I'm trying to keep some of them close together, and then we'll kind of randomize it so it's not just the same videos every single time. Because some lines are kind of all similar and the same, and not everybody wants to see that because they have no interest in buying that line or that series or whatever. Anyways, that was Taxi. I hope you'll enjoy this review. Like I said, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and please share the video, spread the word that Angry Buddha is not a turd, and that I love y'all. Goodbye. Peace out.